Okay, Scorpio, hello. This is your reading for March 2016. Okay. I am using the same deck I used for February's special love reading. I'm very happy to hear that the readings were so accurate for everybody. It tried to come out. Nine of Coins. So this is the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. I bought it on Amazon, for those of you who are wondering. It's a very beautiful deck. And it's provided some interesting readings. So Scorpio, I'm about to cut the cards. Okay. All right, here we go. We have the Hermit in reverse. We have Page of Swords. We have Queen of Cups. And that's definitely your energy. Queen of Cups. Cups are water. They represent water. We have Eight of Coins. We have the Magician in reverse. We have Knight of Coins. We have Knight of Swords. Lots of knights here. And a page and a queen. We have the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. Three of Cups. Okay. So, you are here. You're definitely, this Queen of Cups, I think, is obviously very relevant for you, Scorpio. I will give you your outcome card at the end of the reading. Let's look at your, let's look at your major arcana. You have two of them, three of them. The Hermit, which is solitary soul searching. That's the best way I can describe it. You might be alone with the Hermit energy, but you're not alone in being lonely. Sometimes I think it's good to detach and do and just sort of let your spirit guide speak to you, or just try to take time for space to figure things out. But when this is in reverse, um, it can mean you need to detach and you're not doing it. Or maybe that you are coming to the end of a period of isolation and you're trying to move forward. But I think Scorpio, because you have such strong emotional energies, um, the Hermit in reverse could mean that maybe you're coming into the month of March, doing some soul searching or not taking time for yourself to see things clearly. But interestingly enough, that's what the Page of Swords is. The Page of Swords is a card of truth, receiving messages of truth. And it can also mean delays with certain situations. And maybe that's why the Hermit is in reverse. That maybe you found the answer you were looking for, and now you're moving forward. Now, the Magician is in reverse, and the Magician is a card about um, your will, your intent. It's that magical, it's that manifestation in energy that you will what you want. I saw that on a billboard ad. And so maybe this is all about, this is in the center of your spread. Maybe this is about you working through your emotions and finding the confidence and the security to do what you need to do to make certain things happen. Now, the Hierophant is in reverse, and the Hierophant can be, it represents having the Hierophant in the positive or upright position. This is a card of faith and tradition. Okay. And when it's in reverse, that means we're getting unstable with our faith and our beliefs. We're trading in our beliefs. We're losing our faith, and it could be a very religious belief, but also the Hierophant in reverse means that we'll believe anything, that we don't have that stable foundation of what we know and what we believe, that strong foundation of faith and rationality that we need to judge certain situations carefully. And so when we have the Magician in reverse and the Hermit in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse, what these three cards have in common is this strong core of energy within you, this strong spiritual foundation within you to judge and see situations correctly, and to have that strong connection spiritually to where you receive information, and it can even be psychic information and you know it within yourself. You're not just insecure and worrying and just trusting and going along with whatever situation comes up. You have a strong foundation to deal with certain situations, and you're not frantic and losing your mind, um, you know, every time a situation changes. You run this way, you run that way, and you're just extremely worried. Okay. So I think it's very significant for you, Scorpio, because you are a very emotional person, and you can be in danger of letting your emotions take over to where you kind of lose a little bit of your groundedness and your stability. Now, you in this first row, the Hermit's in reverse, we have a Page of Swords, and then we have a Queen of Cups. And I think this has a lot to do with you and your feelings. The Queen of Cups is nurturing. This is not in reverse. It's upright. The Queen of Cups is loving. She's emotionally nurturing. She's positive, and she's also very psychic. She does tap into her intuitive energy. And Scorpios, I think that because you're a water sign, all water signs can be very, very psychic. They can be strong empaths. They pick up feelings of other people and emotions of other people. The way they receive information is through what they feel. And I get a sense that you've had a lot of sensory overload with your feelings. So this truth, this Page of Swords, which is swords, think of it as rock, paper, scissors. In a way, these swords can cut through water. They can be a stronger force than water in some instances. And I get a feeling that this Page of Swords brought some very harsh truths or very difficult situations to deal with. And as I said before, the Page of Swords can not only indicate messages, but it can indicate a delay with something that you want to have happen. And so emotionally, it might have been very difficult for you to deal with that, especially if you haven't had space or time to really think things through or deal with the current situation. Now, you've got surrounding the magician. On one side, you have Eight of Coins, and on the other side, you have Knight of Coins. Now, Eight of Coins, and I've been tapping into maybe more of a relationship here. But this emotional overload and truth could also apply to career. This is a general reading. So I'm just trying to give you a general sense of what might be happening in your life that's playing out in different ways. So it's interesting that we have the magician in reverse, and it has coins on either side. This Eight of Coins, which means being productive, being focused and disciplined. And then you have this Knight of Coins, which can mean acting. Knights are about acting on a business deal, someone in your life who will act or offer you something or give you something. And this could be another person as well, this Knight of Coins playing into your Queen of Cups. The Knight is Knights a Knight of Coins can be very materialistic and yet very grounded and logical. Um, they're always, it's not just always about money. I've said in other readings, coins represent earth, and Knights Earth is pretty much sort of like very much away from cups as far as emotions, because Earth is solid and water is very fluid and doesn't have a form. It fills up, it takes shape of whatever it fills up. But Earth is Earth, and it's very hard to change Earth. It's just very solid and grounded. So there might be a lot of incompatibility with this Knight of Cups, this Knight of Coins, I'm sorry, because this Knight is not as emotional as you. This Knight deals with the here and now and the practical and what he sees and what he feels, the solid senses, what he can see and what he can touch and what he can taste. He's not tapped in, or he doesn't take in information with just his emotions. He's much more practical. And communication might be at odds with someone who's a Knight of Coins. If we have a Queen of Cups and a Knight of Coins, this person is about action, not so much um, thinking things through or getting into why he might feel something. Okay. Not big on psychic energy or intuitiveness. He might not be getting you or getting what you feel all the time. And so maybe this Knight of Coins is sort of wrapped up in the energy of Eight of Coins. This Knight of Coins could be working hard and neglecting you, or some type of project or something that this Knight of Coins is wrapped up in is taking him away emotionally. He's very distracted. That's one interpretation I'm coming up with. This could be a work situation as well, where, and the magician being in the center, this is all about your will and making things happen. And it seems as if your environment or the people involved in this situation with you or connected with you, they're just very distracted, caught up in the material world, focused on what's going on now, and they're not being very sensitive to what you're feeling. All right. That's a general sort of movement that I'm picking up. That, and keep in mind this queen is facing this page of swords here. This Queen of Cups, Um, I'm looking at this picture and I'm just getting this feeling of a queen just feeling very rejected or brushed off. Now going into future energies, as I said, the Hierophant is a loss of faith, a loss of tradition and stability and beliefs. You might be losing your way in what you really believe and using that as a foundation. And the fact that you have this Knight of Swords, now this could be another person as well, especially, I'm picking up two brothers here. This Knight of Swords, this knight is very, very intellectual, very smart, has a way with words, a huge flirt, and they can represent someone who can be very manipulative and persuade in the negative. But usually a Knight of Swords can be a very charming, persuasive person. Swords represent air, so I'm talking about any Aquarius, um, Gemini, or Libra. And maybe this Knight of Swords has a lot to do with you losing your own foundation, that you're buying into what this Knight of Swords is saying. So in the future, this Knight of Swords, this energy might start appearing, another person, another relationship, because now what happens is that we have this Three of Cups where you might end up getting caught up in this infatuation. Three of Cups is not as serious romantically as a Two of Cups. It would be it can mean a celebration. A Three of Cups in some instances mean a celebration of an engagement or a marriage, a graduation, and therefore there needs to be a party. But it can also mean not just a wedding or an engagement. Three of Cups can also be about friendship. And like I said, I choose to see this not necessarily as um, not always as an engagement or celebration, unless I saw this paired with Two of Cups or a Ten of Cups or an Ace of Cups, that would confirm that there's a very serious relationship going on and it there might be a wedding or an engagement coming, but I don't see that affirmation or reassurance here in these cards. But when I do relationship readings and I see a Three of Cups, and I look at what's surrounding this Three of Cups, I think that it can mean an infatuation or affection in a relationship, but it's not strong enough. If I see a Two of Cups, then that's definitely soulmate partnership material. Okay. But the Three of Cups does have the energy of affection and devotion, but it's also a card of very much, you see these three women with the cups of wine in their hand. And so you might have something to celebrate, um, in the near future, Scorpio. That's very possible. And it might have a lot to do with this Knight of Swords. But my concern is that this Hierophant, and keep in mind, because the Hierophant represents the church, it has been known to be associated with marriage and family, and definitely a strong marriage bond as well, a marriage ceremony. But for some reason, I can't, that's why I'm not taking this Three of Cups so seriously, because this Hierophant is in reverse. Okay? So if the Hierophant was upright, I would say that the near future is showing some very serious intent. Now, if the Hierophant, which is a major arcana card, and the Three of Cups is really a minor energy, then, those two playing off each other, because major arcana trumps all the minor cards, you know. Um, this major energy is indicating that the spiritual religious tradition that would underscore a serious marriage or commitment is not there yet. Right now, things are just very casual, or there's affection and love and friendship, but nothing serious yet. Okay, so moving, what I'm getting from this whole thing, summing up, Queen of Cups. I think that's you, Scorpio. I think you're dealing with a harsh truth or reality, or you're definitely thinking about a certain situation. This could also represent this Knight of Swords and Page of Swords. This could actually be the same person who is young. Pages represent young people, but I think it's very possible that this Page of Swords could represent a person who ends up acting on communication. A Page of Swords is someone who is beginning or starting out, and then the Knight represents action. So there could be someone to where things are starting off where um, maybe there's been a coming out of isolation. This person is bringing communication, starting to talk to you, starting a relationship. And but then we have these coins surrounded by the magician. It seems as if your will or intent or your beliefs are kind of very shaky here. And maybe things are still very much in the material, that there is a working out of a relationship. There are two people seeing each other or contributing to the relationship. This Knight of Coins could be someone who exists in the physical as well. And I'm still choosing to see this as someone different, someone in the background, this Eight of Coins and Knight of Coins. But I'm definitely getting a sense that this Knight of Swords is picking up the energy of the Page of Swords and bringing in this Three of Cups, or this is your energy to where you're celebrating and you're happy even though things are not serious yet. But I think there's a danger in you getting caught up in your emotions and abandoning um, your ideals and your beliefs and your boundaries. And I think that's very important. Eight of Coins. And maybe this Knight of Coins is someone who was from a former relationship or someone who might have tried to help you. And then this Knight of Swords appears and everything just flies out of the window. That's another interpretation that I'm getting. So that's what I'm seeing going on in this relationship reading, where there seems to be someone that you are drawn to because they're facing each other the way these cards are laid out. And then I think you give in, and you're happy, and maybe you're not caring about what you know to be true or what would be for your best interest. Um, the magician is definitely something that you need to take caution from, because once again, um, this is about making things happen. I think that this Eight of Coins and Knight of Coins are definitely a more grounded, stable energy that maybe you actually need, something you actually need more than this page that turns into a knight. And maybe it's turning away from one person, which is why this magician is upside down, and turning to this other person. But it's once again, it seems as if you're sacrificing, or you may be sacrificing what you know to be true, or your beliefs, or your morals, there seems to be a compromise on your values. Okay, but I'm going to shuffle for your outcome card and see how this what the overriding message is. Okay. Okay, Scorpio. You have a Page of Wands. Interesting. A Page of Wands is a new adventure. You see this page, he takes up the wand, and usually in my other tarot decks, the magician does have a wand. He doesn't have a wand in here, but he still uses the wand to make things happen. So this is this is definitely some new energy that's building off this Three of Cups, this new adventure, this new start. Um, Wands are fire. There could be messages of love and romance and passion, but it's important that you do not get carried away. Okay. Now, fire and water are usually in opposite to each other, but that doesn't mean that the energies cannot work together in some way. Fire can heat water where emotions are bubbling over. And, as you know, water can put out fire. Um, but I choose not to see things that simple because we still have, other energies in our astrological chart that embrace all the elements. Okay. And I definitely think that in the near future, your heart might get swept away here. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I think this might be a start of a wonderful journey. But just make sure that because all of your major arcana card were in reverse, that you keep your balance, keep your spirituality, keep your head squarely on your shoulders here. Because Scorpio, as I said, you love hard and you definitely play hard. Now, I am now going to pull an oracle card for you, Scorpio. Okay. Your oracle card. Whoa. Okay, this might be this might be summing up what might be going on. It says, heal away addictions. What does that mean for you, Scorpio? And we can be addicted to people and relationships. It says, it's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. Okay? Now, this can definitely explain why the Hermit is in reverse. Maybe you haven't had a chance to do the healing you've needed to do before this Knight of Swords, before this sword energy came in. And I think there's a definite message here that the healing with the Hermit, the Magician, the Hierophant, you need to make sure that you are grounded, which is why Knight of Coins and Eight of Coins are here. You can't turn away from that. Okay, you need to not let your emotions get away from you. Okay, in spite of the danger or this euphoric feeling that you're having, you don't want to allow yourself to get emotionally swept away. So Scorpio, having said that, that is your March 2016 reading. I'm sorry that this is a few days late. It's been crazy busy. So I do want to thank everyone who supported my channel, who subscribed, who has left wonderful comments. I'm so glad the February readings were accurate. I hope we can continue doing, I hope these readings continue to help you. And if you are interested in getting a more detailed and specific reading, go to my description where I have an online booking page. And you can even get email readings for $10, where I lay out the cards and I send you a snapshot of the cards and I give a detailed description of what's going on with all the cards. Um, but you might want to invest and get a personal reading if you need to look more clearly in what's happening with the general reading as well. Okay, so thank you so very much for your support. And I intend to sort of get April's up a little bit early. I think what I'll be doing is doing some of the readings throughout the last 2 weeks of the month so that I'm not trying to squash everything in the last week, because I really did think I would have time in the last week to do this. But all of a sudden, I just got like a slew of requests for other readings. Um, and it's just been very busy, but I'm so grateful for that. So I do want to thank all of you. And I might start posting other videos on manifestation and bringing other things into your life and finding, and taking that journey to real happiness. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next few weeks.